So GCSE papers, Shadow Set 1, Foundation Tier, Paper 2, Thursday 6th of June 2019. Let's take a look at question 23. So question 23 is a 4-mark question, pretty much towards the end of the paper. 4 marks, a big mark, and it's a multi-step problem. So let's take this in stages and work through and make sure we can get all the way to the final answer. So we've got a container in the shape of a cuboid. It's 60 centimetres this way, 12 centimetres back, and it's got this height of 38 centimetres. It says the container is 2/3 full of water. A cup holds 275 millilitres of water. What is the greatest number of cups that can be completely filled with water from this container? Right, so when you're doing questions like this, you need to sort of work through things that you definitely can do, and step by step you will be able to get to the answer. So we know the container's 2/3 full of water. So with these measurements that we've got, this length, width and height, we can work out the volume of the whole container and then find 2/3 of it. Okay, so the volume of the container, again, really clear with what we're doing. Volume of the container when full. Volume of a cuboid, length times width times height. Length times width times height. Check the units, they're all the same, they're all in centimetres. So we're just going to do 60 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 38. Length times width times height for volume of a cuboid. So 60 times by 12 times by 38. 27,360. 27,360 cubic centimetres. Make sure you get the units in. 27,360 cubic centimetres. Okay, so that's if it's full. But actually, the container's only 2/3 full. So we need to work out what 2/3 of this is. So 2/3 of 27,360. Again, using the calculator, if you're going to find a fraction of an amount, you're going to divide by the one on the bottom, then times by the one on the top. Divide bottom times top, dBtt. So that's one way you can do it. So you can do 27,360, divide by the one on the bottom, times by the one on the top, and that'll tell us what 2/3 of it is, 18,240. 18,240 cubic centimetres. That would be 27,360 divided by the one on the bottom times by the one on the top. Okay, however, another way that you could do it, you could use the fraction button. So 2/3 of means times, 2/3 of 27,360. Press equals, get that same answer, 18,240. Okay, centimetres cubed. Okay, now there's another fact in this question that you need to know and you need to have learned, otherwise you can't really get much further than this, and that is the fact that 1 millilitre of water has a volume of 1 centimetres cubed. 1 millilitre of water has a volume of 1 centimetre cubed. So if 1 millilitre of water is 1 centimetre cubed, 18,240 centimetre cubed must be 18,240 millilitres. So we can get that bit written down. 18,240 centimetres cubed, which is the volume of the water in the container, is equal to 18,240 millilitres. So our question now is simply, how many 275 milliliter cups can we get out of 18,240 milliliters that we've got in the container? So how many 275 milliliter cups can we get out of 18,240 milliliters of water in the container? Well, we just want to know how many of them are in there. It's a division. 18,240 divided by 275, calculator paper. 18,240 divided by 275, it is 66.327 recurring. So it is 66.327 recurring. And while we're there, we'll point out that that means 66.3272727 and so on. It's only the 2 and the 7 that are recurring. So what we need to know is, what's the greatest number of cups that can be filled? We can't get 67 cups, not quite, but we can get 66 and there'll be a little bit left over. So that's the answer to our question. 66 full cups can be filled with the water in the container. Okay, done.